Let's listen to Greg Cosell from NFL Films breaking down what he has seen from Elijah Moore's first couple years in the league. This is from the Ross Tucker podcast.
The Browns tweeted, "We got more speed, Moore, speed." But I guess I looked at him as like a really elusive, athletic slot guy. But I don't study him like you do.
Well, I think in many ways he's everything. And when I say that, I don't want people to think that I believe he's a top 5 receiver in the league. But in terms of skill set and traits, I think he can do most things. If you go back to his college days in the SEC, he ran by people. He ran intermediate routes. He ran between the numbers. He caught the ball very well through contact. For a guy he's short, but he's not small. He's competitive. He was a really good prospect. There were a lot of people in that draft, Ross, as you may recall, who thought he could be a first-round pick, a late first-round pick, and I believe he went in the second round. I think ultimately when you look at what the Browns will put out there, he's probably going to line up in the slot more so than anywhere else because Cooper and Peoples-Jones will line up on the outside. They still have David Bell, the second-year receiver from Purdue, who's more of a short intermediate, I guess, possession-type receiver. So I think in the context of their offense, he'll probably get the majority of his snaps in the slot.
And Quincy, there's nothing not to like about what he just broke down that he has seen on with Elijah Moore.
I would say, actually, I would flip it. I think Amari Cooper is going to play a lot more in the slot this year than Elijah Moore because he has a bigger slot ability. He's a bigger body in the middle. And I think Deshaun likes to hit the middle, and he likes those bigger targets in the middle of the field. And that's what Amari Cooper at this stage in his career, he's really good at. Not saying that he can't play outside. He obviously played it very well, almost had a career year outside last year. But I think he'll play inside in the slot more. Obviously, they'll rotate guys in the slot. I think sometimes Donovan Peoples-Jones will be in the middle of the field. But I think the Browns are actually going to prefer to have some of those bigger bodies in the middle because I think Deshaun really likes hitting those big targets in the middle of the field, right? You look at his tape, a lot of tight ends in the seam, a lot of D-hop in the middle of the field. I think that's where he kind of prefers to have his target. And I don't think he minds, right? Brandon Cooks was somebody who played a lot of outside wide receiver when he was with him in Houston. Will Fuller, not the biggest guy in the world. I don't think he minds having those guys who are playing on the edges or playing Z receiver for him being smaller. And I think that's where Elijah Moore can do a lot of work there too. He reminds me a lot of Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is somebody who can be in the slot, but he's really dangerous or was really dangerous when he was outside there kind of on the island being able to run his routes. So I think there's a plethora of ways that you can use Elijah Moore. I know people are going to look at the size and the weight and say slot receiver off automatically, but in the NFL, they're kind of letting guys who are smaller play on the outside more often. We're finding out that height's not that much of a barrier for a wide receiver out there, and I think he's actually going to have a healthy amount of snaps, both outside, maybe some inside, but certainly he's going to have a healthy allotment of snaps on the outside because I think that's where he can really help this team.
Yeah, and you know what? It's another weapon for Deshaun Watson, so I am all in on that.